Hey guys, and welcome back to part 11 of I Know Why Your Results Might Suck. Okay, so in the last 3 videos we've talked about the 3 key areas that are possibly and probably holding you back. These are the 3 things that if you just focused on them, it would really help most other things in your life, certainly when it comes to feeling good, having more energy, losing weight, and just generally having a more happier and fulfilled life. And they are your gut health, blood sugar management, and your adrenal exhaustion, so almost kind of like your stress levels. So if you get those things in check, everything else just starts to start working out. You regain that get up and go, you got more energy, you want to do more stuff, you want to be with more people, it's easier to stay trim, lose weight, get stronger, you start to banish those food cravings and loads of other things. They really are that powerful. But what is the one thing that we still need? I'm not talking about food, I'm not talking about hydration and water and drinks, I'm not even talking about breathing, okay? Forget those 3 things. What's the one other thing that we essentially need? What's the one thing that if we didn't have, it would actually cause us to die? And that's sleep. Sleep is really powerful. It's one of those things that we just have to have. You know, we talk about filling up your diary and organising your day. Sleep is automatically just blocked out. We have to have it. You know, everyone talks about that we have 24 hours in the day. Well, we kind of do, but we kind of don't, because we still need to have that sleep. That's just a given. It's there. But what happens when people start struggling with sleep? Because they do, because it's really common. It's not normal, but it's definitely common, especially these days. And your sleep is kind of ultimately linked in with what we have previously discussed, especially when we're talking about stress. Your gut health plays a massive role with how you sleep, and your blood sugar management plays a huge role when it comes to sleep. So as you can see, as we're going to talk about sleep in this video, you almost need to actually rewind and go back, because we don't really need to talk about sleep if you're doing the other things. Okay, but I'm just going to presume that you have watched those videos and you're going to start implementing them, and then you're going to take things a little bit further, take the next pass. What else could we do to improve our sleep? Now, in my health formation methodology, my online program, you know, we talk about how we talk about the road to exhaustion, okay, and how people who may have sleeping issues are kind of causing it themselves. There's 3 different levels that we have down the road to exhaustion. Most people are kind of in level 1, and a lot of people are at level 2, where they need to start thinking about doing something. And if you get to level 3, you're kind of in a little bit of a mess. You're in a real hole, and you really need to take proper action to get yourself out. Or if you're trying to lose weight or just be healthier or anything, you're really going to come unstuck. You're going to struggle. It's not going to work, because ultimately our physiology is influencing what happens on the outside. Okay, so let's start from within and then work our way out. And then also we then look at so once we've looked at stress a little bit more, we can then start to ease into how do we make sleep easier, because ultimately a lot of people don't sleep because of some kind of stress level, whether that's emotional or physical. Okay, so if we can start to knock those symptoms on their head, sleep just starts to become easy, because your body's actually designed to sleep. It wants to sleep, it needs to sleep. So it's part of our everyday activities. So it kind of knows what it needs and what to do. So once we can start to sort of like knock stress on its head, we then look at how can we actually win the stress game, and then move on to how do we start to, like, let's say, embrace our sleep. And the first part of that is to find awareness, new awareness around potential sleep issues. And like with anything that we need to do and improve and change, the first step is awareness, because without it we can't change, because we're not going to know about it. And we look at, what are your current sleeping habits? You see, most people kind of think, I don't sleep very well, so maybe I'll like look into sleeping aids and sleeping pills and things like that, which honestly, it's really not a good thing to do. If your long-term health, and if you want improved sleep consistently, give your body what it needs. If you give your body what it needs, it's going to start to do what you want. So look at your sleeping habits, because this is kind of where most people go wrong, and this is the beginning. If you don't get your basic sleeping habits right, nothing else is going to work. You can quite simply ask yourself some questions, just a few off the top of my head. What time are you going to sleep? And do this over a week. Write down what time you go to sleep, and then what time you go to sleep at the weekend. Because honestly, most people, they've got a fairly decent routine in the week, but then when it comes to the weekend, that sort of like goes a little bit out the window, because schedules get messed up. But if you're going to sleep really late and then getting up on Saturday and Sunday morning at, let's say, 10, 11 o'clock, midday, it happens, trust me, it happens. You're almost giving yourself this mild kind of like jet lag. And if you've ever been abroad, long haul, you'll know that jet lag is a thing. It takes a good day or two to get over. Now, I'm not saying it's like jet lag as such, but it's a mild version. You get up at 10, 11 o'clock. You don't actually want to go to sleep until a little bit later, and then you have this knock-on effect. And the classic is Sunday night. People are used to a different sleeping habit, and then Monday morning comes around and they can't get up, and then they're like, oh god, I've got to go to work, I'm late. You've already set your day up to fail, purely because of some simple sleeping habits. And you can also ask yourself questions like, well, when do I feel my best? When do I exercise? Because that has a massive influence on your sleep. If you train really late, it's going to have an effect on what time you go to bed. And then maybe you're waking up in the middle of the night. We're touching surface again, back on the blood sugar thing that we just discussed in the previous video. So once you can start to possibly find a pattern, and that's what we're looking for, if you can find a pattern by writing these things out, you can then start to focus on that one area or those two areas. And that's kind of like your first stage. And then you're in a position to really start to set your sleep up to win. And again, what we do in the Health Formation Programme is we look at routines. And one of the things is our morning routine. But in this instance, what's your late night routine? Okay, are you watching TV really late? Are you on your mobile phone when you get into bed? Again, these things are really, really common. And unfortunately, with technology, there's a thing called blue light syndrome, which kind of like raises cortisol. And again, as we discussed in the previous videos, where if you're raising cortisol, you're not naturally producing your levels of melatonin, which is what we need to sleep. So technology, TVs, phones, laptops, late at night are contributing to potentially a sleep issue that you may have. It's not the only thing, but it's potentially there. Other things are you eating late? And your body takes, or your stomach needs 3-4 hours to digest food. So if you're if you're eating, let's say at late, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, it's not a problem as such, because sometimes we have to do that. I have to do that. But just be aware of what you're eating. Is it a heavy meal? Because it needs to digest. Just because you've gone to sleep, your eyes have shut, it doesn't mean to say your body has. Your body is still there digesting away. It's still kind of on. And then you may wake up in the middle of the night, wake up in the morning feeling a little bit groggy. So there are just a few things. There are more, but it's just to really bring a bit more awareness around how sleep is so important, and how you are actually influencing potentially poor sleep patterns. I've got a whole module on stress and sleep. It is a fairly complicated issue. It's not a case of do X and Y and you get Z. There are other things that we need to look at. Certainly it really helps looking at this on a one-to-one basis, but hey, this is your first pass. Start thinking about where your sleep issues may be coming from, and then if you're ready, I've got my little system that I have created to help people relax and get to sleep. It's my neural reset. It's a little bit like meditation, but from personal experience, meditation doesn't really work for me. So I've created a way of blending that kind of theory into helping your body relax, your muscles relax, resetting your body, and it's kind of playing the game that the nervous system wants. So getting a good night's sleep is really, really important if you want more energy and you want that get up and go in the morning and you want to succeed. Right guys, I'll be back with you soon in video 12.